And we're up and going. Alright, cool. So, back here on another little Monday. Tesla's doing fairly good today. I mean, they had a nice early morning pop in the pre-market. Jumped us up over the lows that happened after market close on Friday, which I was fairly confident we would at least get back up over the 415 level here, but had some early morning excitement, and then it's just been kind of fading throughout the majority of the afternoon here. Now, there was just that news a little bit ago about Trump planning to leave the hospital later today, and I do believe this week is going to have much more of an effect from what Trump and everybody else in the White House that has tested positive. Most of the time, the about 2 to 3 weeks leading up to earnings call, especially right after deliveries happen, and then going all the way up to earnings, and especially the last few days. But there's usually a pretty consistent, steady, just walk up. Sometimes if the deliveries are way higher than people were expecting, then there'll be a fast run up. But for the most part, Tesla manages to run up fairly steady all the way up to earnings. And that's kind of what I'm playing this week. I'm more concerned right now with getting towards the end of the week, what is going to happen with Trump. That seems to have more of an effect right now than anything else. Obviously, the market does not like uncertainty, and Trump says he's feeling fine right now, but the general consensus seems to be that anywhere from Wednesday to, I believe, next Monday is the usual worst time when people have tested positive. It's usually later in the 8 to 12 day range when you really start to see if they're going to have a mild case or a more severe case. So the next few days should be kind of timid once we hit Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and there starts to be more of a definite idea, like, is Trump going to, come out of this pretty quickly and stay fairly strong, or is he going to, get a lot sicker and have several weeks where he's not going to be in a good position to lead the country. Now, that will really wreak havoc. So right now I'm playing a little bit safer plays, or I'm trying to milk more out of them by trying to get more premium out of each position. So it's a tricky little game. So this week is going to definitely be a more unusual one. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot, I told somebody I would drop them a message when we hopped up here, so alrighty. So main thing to watch today is that the volume is ridiculously low for a Monday. Usually we've been seeing anywhere in the 80s to 100 million shares traded. We're just about to break 41 million. So the overall market is being very, very low volume, and that is going to have a large effect on the entire market. So less people that are willing to get in and play, it makes certain kind of plays harder to execute on. So right now we want to see, let's go look at the option chain, see where the majority of the volume is going through. So we can look here. Wow, 600,000 total contracts traded. So that's what I'm looking at right here. These last couple days they've been anywhere in the 800 to over 1 million contracts traded per day, and that's usually by about this time in the day. So it is definitely a low volume day. So looking at the volume of trades, obviously these every $5 and $10 are going to have the biggest volumes. 420 has 15,000, 16,000 on the 400 put. Now that's interesting. Now you can see that was based on before. So, or no. Sorry, scratch that. That's today's action. So based on before, today the open interest, there was 5,600 people making a 400 put play, or 5,600 contracts. Today we're up over 16,000. So what I would say is a lot more people are doing like what I'm doing and selling premium on the 400. I'm just a little bit greedier with what I guess I would like to see out of it. So looks like a lot of people are betting to hit 430 by the end of the week on the upside. So that's going to be the number to watch by this coming Friday, is 430 on Tesla. Before today there was about 4,000 contracts open. There have been 24,451 contracts open as of right now. So what that says, if you're new to seeing what options are, that means there's people that are making a larger bet that Tesla will get to or above 430 at the close on this Friday, October 9th. Now, I've been burned a few times when I was trying to do iron butterflies and sell both sides, call and a put spread, and it's easy to get stuck in a position that way. What I got better at doing is trying to just sell further out of the money puts. So let's see what I like to do. Take a look here and see, we are holding that 425 pretty strong. So I may lower my the amount I'm trying to make out of each contract to see if I can get somebody to bite on it and sell. So going back, looking a little further back, you know, I'm pretty confident we're going to stay well over 4 and even over 415. I'm pretty sure this 420 mark is going to hold all the way up until we get to earnings here in a couple of weeks. So that's my prediction right now, barring something tragic happening with Trump later this week or over this coming weekend. So let's take a look here. I am kind of surprised that there's not been more happen based off of that story that come out about the Model Y that had the glass roof fly off of it on the way home. So it's always interesting to me that every little thing that happens to a Tesla car gets picked up by all the media and spread everywhere whenever anything bad happens. But when they do good, like this last Friday when they announced deliveries, and they actually did really, really good, especially compared to the entire auto industry. They just knocked it out of the park. But whenever there's something bad, hey dude, nice to see you over here. But whenever there's something bad, it gets blown up by all the media. So I'm surprised it didn't have a little more of effect overall. I think most people are probably thinking the same way I am, in that the overall health of Trump is probably going to play more effect on the market and market conditions over the next couple of days for sure, and possibly even the next 2 weeks. So that is really going to be what needs to be watched. So let's get in here and see. I've been eyeing this selling the 400, but I just don't think it's going to do what I want. So I'm wanting to get a little more out of it. Actually, let's try this. See, that could be not so bad. Yeah, well, so main thing to remember in the stock market is always uncertainty is the enemy, pretty much. So the market loves to know what is going to happen in the future, and Trump is pretty well a guaranteed good thing for the overall stock market. Right now, just to kind of explain what I'm doing, I'm going to try excuse me, I'm going to try and sell a 400 put, buy a 397.50 for protection. I'm going to see if anybody will pay 75 cents for that, and you know, that'd give me $375 if I were to hold it all the way to the end. But this is going to be a week of quick trades. Anything that gets filled is going to have an exit order placed on it almost immediately after. So I don't think anything's going to happen today. Well, Trump is good for business overall. And most businesses that I'm in Oklahoma, so I'm kind of right in the middle of the country. He's more of a pro-business person than some others. But main thing is, right now he's the president, so anything that happens to him is going to reflect on the market. Like, he's a fan of the market, and he's always trying to push for better market conditions, it would seem, or at least try to push it so the markets keep going higher and higher. You know, could debate about, you know, whether or not that's a good thing in the long run or not, but most businesses would usually agree with what Trump is trying to do. So as long as he's in at least decent health or getting through this sickness, I don't know if it's still a bad thing to say the word on YouTube or not, but as long as he can show that he's going to make it through this in a fairly quick and stable manner, markets should be good. But if it takes a turn for the worse and he gets sicker and isn't able to do his duties, then the market's not going to know what's supposed to happen, and everybody sells and it tanks automatically. It's more of, there's certain large funds that have computers that trade off of news keywords, and whenever those words are in headlines, orders are preset based on certain things like that. It's kind of crazy how the market actually works against most people, and that's really how I came to the strategy of, if most people are going to lose in the stock market, why not be, you know, more like the casino and put yourself in a position to win more by knowing that most people are going to lose. So when they're going to lose, if you're the person supplying the trade for them to lose on, you're the winner. And that's what I like to do. So my wins are smaller, I guess you could say, than what I used to when I would try to get, big winners. But instead of a big winner every couple of weeks on an options trade, you get small winners, but you're more consistent and you get those a lot more often. And that's really the trick to getting it done. You just flip it on everybody. So instead of trying to buy low and sell high, you sell high and then buy low later, or just wait for, like an options contract, wait for them to expire worthless, and you don't even have to waste money buying them back at all, and you keep the whole premium. So it's takes a certain mindset. It took me a while to get into the right frame of mind to understand how that works, and once I did, I went from making a couple $100s every now and then to much more consistently, couple hundred to couple thousand every month. Just really depends on the volatility. That's another reason that I've pretty much only focused on Tesla stock for the last over 2-3 years now. It's one of the most volatile stocks. It just moves constantly, and that movement is where you can get the most premium from. So here we go. Let's try an example. So this over here, the implied volatility, it'll show you we're in the 60%. This is actually low. That's why actually most of my trades are on the lower side today. So current implied volatility is in the lower 32%. So right now, 84% implied volatility overall in all the contracts is fairly low for Tesla. Just to see, I'm kind of curious now. And like Amazon, wow, yeah, we got slower. So that's at 50%. So, and it's even on their high side. So the volatility range is crazy. So we're just looking at Tesla in this column here, the implied volatility, they're at in the 60% range, and that's for this week's contracts. And Tesla is, or Amazon's here in the 30% range, and Tesla is way out there. Let's see what Nikola. I cannot believe this company is still alive, but by the end of this week, fairly confident. Wednesday is the day to watch. Wow. So that's how much implied volatility is in Nikola right now. This stock is the worst stock to try and, I don't know. I'm not even going to try and figure it out, so we'll leave it alone. But so that's something, when you sell options, you're selling the implied volatility mostly. So the more volatile a stock is, the more you can get out of your trades. But I do think there is a very, very good chance that Tesla is going to stay in this range. If we close above 425 today, we should have a fairly steady run up into the end of the week. We could be all the way up to in the 440s to 450 by the end of this week. Let's just look at a couple things real quick, and we can get a fairly good idea. So we'll cut out the that post-market chart right there. But this is just some quick trading. So Friday, we're going to be right over here. So these are over exaggerated trend lines, but we're starting to bounce off this lower line, so we should come up over the next few days into the 440s, and then we may trickle down back to the 30s. I would figure by the end of this week we should be in the 430 to 440 range. But that will also greatly depend on what happens with Trump on Wednesday and Thursday. Because this Friday here was good news on Tesla, bad news from Trump. So the bad news from Trump actually overshadowed the good news that Tesla brought with their deliveries. So the overall market just had a heart attack, and we're bouncing up pretty good today, but I don't know, it'll be it's going to be a tough week. That's really all there is to this week. Is I'm going to be, keeping my alerts set and watching very closely how we trade every day. So there's going to be a lot more happening after market close. So I think Trump said he's leaving 6:30 today, so 5:30 my time. If the majority of the media thinks he looks good and is walking well, things will probably bounce up good tomorrow. So it's a very, very tricky game. Cool. We'll see y'all. Thanks for swinging by. Oh, cool. Hey, I'm trying to get more time to make real videos, so this weekend too many other projects, but got the last lawn mowing done, and we'll see how the next week should be fairly soon having another kind of farming video showing irrigation stuff. So got all the shots filmed. I just need to get it all uploaded to the computer and start splicing things together and see what we can put together. But I think I'll make almost a complete drone shot video showing how water gets from a lake to fields. But that'll be coming later. Yeah. So we're at that last 7 minute here. So usually what's going to happen here, we'll either have a lot of people start trying to run in and grab up shares before the close, or if there was, now like I was saying, the volume is low, so usually when the volume is very high, it's being traded a lot with day traders, and they don't want to be stuck with a lot of overnight margin, because that could kill their account if it had an overnight drop. So going into, right there, you see, so a lot of day traders will start unloading their shares if they've been holding them all day, so they can get their get flat for the day and be out of everything. So these last couple minutes the volume just starts running up, and I'm pretty confident if we can hold 425 for the rest of the day, we'll have a good start to the week. And let's see. So I overuse alerts like crazy. So if there's a certain price that I want to keep an eye on, I just set an alert for it. Here, this is another thing that I learned. So like this 415, 410 put spread. All of this is taking all the trades that happened on the 415 and 410 put spread and representing it in a regular candlestick chart. So there's a couple of tricks to make this actually possible, but once you figure it out, you can see, as the stock drops, this value starts going up. So it's kind of reversed. So the trick on these is timing it right so that when Tesla is falling, you can have an order in to capture those inflated premiums. As the price is coming down, the value of puts are going up, and if you can time it just right, you can sell at the max, and then as Tesla starts stabilizing and rising up, and then as the days click along, the value of that contract becomes less and less. So I usually shoot for trying to get 2 to 250 out of a $5 spread. So if none of these trades fail today, we'll see what happens after market, and in the pre-market tomorrow I'll probably pick at least 1 or 2 of these same contracts if they still look like they're going to be in a good range, and put the orders in so that they are only active for like the first hour to hour and a half tomorrow. Downside, Tuesdays are my most hectic day at work, so I'm really only able to watch the market closely like this on Mondays. I don't know, it's just all a matter of what have you been able to learn over a long period of time. So ooh. Man, see if there's been any fun news come out today. Oh my gosh, everybody's doing these SPACs, these special acquisition companies. Or special purpose acquisition companies. Man, I'd have thought they'd have learned after the Nikola fiasco. So thankfully they're going back down today. I couldn't believe they were going up, but hey, weird things happen in this world. Alright, we're at 2.5 minutes left for the day. This is when it gets fairly strong battles. So I hardly ever can get trades filled in these last couple of minutes. So we'll just see what happens. And I haven't decided if I like these price bubbles on my standard deviation. So if anybody does want to know, though, I guess I should kind of make an explanation here. So on this chart, this middle white line is what they call the standard deviation. So that's where the averages of price action would normally want to gravitate towards the middle there. So 1 standard deviation up and then 2 standard deviations up. So right now we're at the top of a channel, which could mean people that trade on purely technicals would look at this as, oh, we're about to have a pullback down to here. But if it was getting sold off hard down to the negative standard deviation, people would be like, oh, we could be bouncing here, or if we break through it, we could come all the way down to here. Now, this has been a fairly strong day. I think earlier in the day, Tesla ran up all the way to the 2nd standard deviation earlier in the day, that pulled back down to the middle and is back to climbing up. So it's been a fairly interesting technical day. Alright, we have got 45 seconds left. I'm pretty sure it's looking like we're going to hold that 425. So, I mean, that would be really good to start this week out. So, hey, anybody that's hanging out, thank y'all for swinging by. If y'all want to see any kind of particular type of options information, let me know. I have been mostly focused on just watching to see what the price action is going to do today. So, and yep, we held it. So the first few post-market trades that get that'll show up here, they're not always accurate of trades actually still occurring. So a lot of people will see those big wicks, like I know I saw some earlier today. So, you know, things like this here, that was not an actual one single candle where price moved that much. That could be somebody just reporting a trade that had happened on Friday, but it just got reported to the market on Monday, and they have to show that. So somebody could have bought, you know, 2,000 shares at this low of a price, but it just gets represented as a standard candle. So it's a confusing thing, but it's usually trades that are done on these dark pools in these large funds that don't go through the standard brokerages. So, well, I am pretty happy actually with the way Tesla held up today. I was really thinking we'd have more of a weak market overall, but we'll see how it all plays out. So, if anybody else is still hanging out in here, I want to say, you know, thank you for coming by. I will be back here this next Monday for at least the last 30 minutes. You know, if we can get some more people that want to hang out and, you know, either I'm down to teach and talk more about stocks and options especially, and even Tesla news. If there's something cool that happens, you know, I can always pull it up and pull it over to the screen that's being broadcast. So we got lots of options. Just want to keep doing this and eventually get a couple people to come hang out and, you know, try to learn, crowdsource some ideas and see what we can do. So I do believe I'm going to get started on my next projects, which right now is going to be starting to upload footage to my computer and start working on my irrigation video. So I think that's going to be pretty cool for some people to see. And hey, like I said, this week main thing is going to be watching the news that comes out of the White House and keeping an eye on Trump's health. That is going to affect this week's market moves more than just about anything else. So everybody be safe and everybody have a good week. Thanks for stopping by and come on back next Monday. I'll see you then. Bye.